The most upsetting part of this video is the fact that I've had to film it 3 times now. The first 2 times the mic was off. Alright, hi YouTube. As you can tell by the title of this video, I removed my stats videos from my channel today. And there were various reasons for that, and I'm kind of disappointed a little bit in myself. So today is pretty much Sunday morning, it's 2 AM, and I was editing because I plan to post another video tomorrow. I have a lot of footage from the term that I just haven't compiled into videos yet, and I've been slowly making my way through that and was hoping to get something out by tomorrow. But when I was doing that, I decided to take a look at my YouTube analytics and notice that for some reason these past 48 hours I've been getting 3 times as many views as I have as usual. And of course that's super weird to me because I posted a YouTube video on, I think it was Thursday night / Friday morning, and for some reason the past few days that video hasn't been getting too many views, you know? It's been getting some views, but only a few hundred every day. But why has my view count in the past 48 hours jumped up by 4,000 views? The thing is, I looked through my analytics and I saw that there was one video that for some reason the algorithm came back to and is now recommending to other people, so it's getting a lot more views again. And of course, there were other other videos that were getting views that were pretty they had some staying power. And those videos were my transcript video, which for some reason is getting back up in popularity again, and also my stats videos. And there's a reason I decided to remove my stats video and not my transcript video. As many people have probably heard of recently, there's been this lawsuit against Harvard by the Students for Fair Admissions or something like that. And another person in the class of 22 vlogger community, his YouTube channel is going to be linked right up here, but he had a video recently where since he does go to Harvard, he decided to look at his admissions file and try to compare those issues of discrimination versus the evidence that Students for Fair Admissions had. And whether you agree with it or not, this just got me thinking. His video got me thinking because it made me start thinking about how numerical this whole system of college admissions has been and how I dislike contributing to that culture. Apparently one of the pieces of evidence from the lawsuit is that Asians have to have higher test scores to get into Harvard. And it made me think, compared to Matthew's video, his was a lot more focused on the subjective side of things, the things that, the comments that admissions officers wrote about him, and how they commented on his character and his essays and stuff like that, and how that contrasted with the evidence that the lawsuit had. And I realized that, in this whole process, it's very easy to cling to numbers. And I definitely did that a lot in my senior year, and I wish I hadn't. So in my senior year of high school, I was just super anxious about my chances of getting into good colleges. I genuinely thought that I was going to only be accepted at my safety school, and that's where I was going to have to go. So I was really obsessed with the numeracy of the whole process. I was worried about not having perfect subject test scores, not having perfect scores, not having perfect GPA. I had A-minuses, I had B's, and still got into the colleges that I got into and had the results that I had. So when I finished the process, I wanted to kind of quell people who were senior year me and were clinging to numbers a little bit too much and were getting way more anxious than they should have been over these numbers that were only part of my full story as an applicant to a college. When I got in to the places I got into, I made college decision reactions, I made stats videos, I made a video about my transcripts, I made videos about my essays, and I even made reactions of me to all my AP scores and all my test scores. And there was always this thing in the back of my mind that just felt so slimy about it, because I felt like I was kind of contributing to this stress culture. But I tried to justify it to myself and be like, hey, I am showing people that you don't have to be perfect to get into places. But then I started to have a lot more issues with that as time went on and as I went through college and realized how important people's stories were than the numbers, and it just really got me thinking. Before going off to college, I decided that this whole YouTube channel would be about sharing stories, sharing experiences, sharing parts of college life, whether it's my college life, the college lives of other people's, or just stories in general. And that was something that I really wanted to make a focus of this channel. And the stats video and the reaction videos, I realized I only really did for views to get that audience. And also they were inconsistent with the full message that I was trying to put across, and also like negatively contributing to this whole stress culture when it comes to college admissions. So after realizing that these videos were getting attention more, like the closer it got to college decision deadlines, I decided to take a look at them once again. So the first video I decided to look at again was my transcript video, and I'm leaving that up. And here's why. I watched the video straight through again and realized how big of an emphasis I put on just not being perfect and highlighting all my imperfections as much as I could, and showing the cool classes I was able to take, and just showing and emphasizing the message that like high school is still about learning. It's not about getting into college, if that makes sense. High school isn't a 4-year audition for college, and that was a term I used specifically in that video to show that like high school is about learning, and that's what you should be doing, not worrying so much about getting into Harvard instead of Columbia kind of thing. Like, that's not what this whole process is about. It's all about like it really is like college admissions should be a consequence, like a side result of your learning. And I felt in that video I really did emphasize that as much as I could, and like I was proud of that. So I'm leaving that up. But as for everything else, my stats videos, my AP score reaction videos, my ACT score reaction videos, I do not like them, because they were basically me reading a college confidential like results thread out loud without all the parts that make me human. And that's the part that pissed me off a little bit. Like, yeah, I could say you don't have to be perfect to get into really good colleges, or you don't have to like have perfect scores and have 800s on all your subject tests to get in. But at the end of it all, I still had very high stats that could contribute to an additional stress culture, regardless of how much I emphasize an alternative message. And I didn't like that. I didn't want to be seen as a number, and I also didn't want other people to see themselves as a number. And I think having those videos out there and emphasizing so much, emphasizing a particular score on the ACT or AP scores, was not something that was consistent with the message that I was trying to put across. Basically, I'd rather that my essays got a lot more attention, because those were my story and me bearing out my soul to the audience that is YouTube. And also, it's just a bigger picture of what I was sending into colleges and the stories that they were able to see, like the reflection of me as a person. And I think that was something I really want to emphasize more on this channel, that it's all about stories. And at the same time, I am not an admissions officer. Like, I don't know anything. I'm a kid. So anything that's related to like advice, I have no qualifications or authority to be saying that. Alright, on that note, so I mentioned like not having any authority in saying like what's good for colleges and what's not. And I think that's also inconsistent with the idea that I have an essay editing service, which is in the description box below if you're interested, by the way. But my justification for that is that like when you're reading essays, it's really just figuring out like if you can draw a person from an essay, and whether that essay represented someone well and was like unique or accurate, or not really accurate but efficient in conveying a story. And I think that's something that I know how to do, because like even though I may not be an admissions officer, I recognize that I'm a really good writer, and I can write personal narratives really well now because of all the practice I got through the college application process. I became very in tune with my writing, and like I know how to draw the personality out of people and to comment specific things to like improve. And I think it's just not necessarily that I have an authority as an admissions officer, but rather I have the authority as a good writer, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you're interested in having your essays read by me, click the description box below. Yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is that, like, all these things about my stats and not having to have perfect stats are, I suppose, true. Like, I'm living proof of that. But at the same time, would it help to have higher stats? Is there a cutoff? I wouldn't know. I can't speak to that. So, like, when you have so much arbitrariness and mystery surrounding the process, I feel like it's easy to cling to success stories and be like, wow, I have to be like them in every way. And that's not something I want to just put out there, you know? Point is that looking back, those stats videos and those reactions serve no purpose. Absolutely no purpose other than to cause stress in other people. And also to kind of humble brag. And that's the opposite of what I want to do. I'll be honest, I don't remember my subject test scores. I don't really remember my ACT sub scores. Those don't matter once you get into college. And I don't want, like, to be defined by scores or to have any recollection of that, if that makes sense. And in all honesty, I made those videos for views. And the reason I'm being super upfront about that is because I didn't make those videos just to, like, get attention and have everyone be like, look at me, but also I wanted to, like, build an audience so I can actually share content that's I believe is valuable to other people and, like, valuable to me, and have an audience that can see it and be impacted by it in a positive way. Because at the end of the day, I just want to be helping people and impacting the world in some way that helps. And, like, yeah, I made those videos kind of to capture that audience initially, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm happy with my audience. On this channel, I want to share my experiences, I want to share college life, I want to share the experiences of other people, and just to be, like, so open about this and kind of, like, put a face to Dartmouth, because I know it's a school that is very underappreciated, and I appreciate it a lot. And to be able to share the world what I love about my experiences and what I don't love is something that I think is very valuable to me. And I just want that to be what I'm achieving, you know? I get it. When I was a senior, I too was obsessing over stats, and I always wanted to, like, know the stats of other people and all these famous, no, that's not the word, like, all these figureheads of schools that were, like, making YouTube videos, and just wanted to know, like, the numerical part of their story because I felt like that was the only way I can be compared to them. But in the end, everyone's so unique, and everyone has such an interesting, different story that they'll be sharing through their applications and through their lives. So I don't think that would be really fair to do. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, and I hope you stick around for actual stuff on this channel because I do have a lot to share. I'm excited to share a lot with this channel and with the world and the rest of the year, the rest of the term, and whatnot. I hope you came for the stats, but stick around for the content. So I'll see you in my next video, and I promise it'll be substantial and hopefully fun to watch. Alright, peace.